Hey there, welcome back to my channel. So what are the pros and cons of living in Ocean City, Maryland year-round? So I've had many clients and just bumping into people around town ask what it was like to grow up around, at the beach, and of course what it's like to live here year-round. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to list out 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Ocean City, Maryland full-time. So number 1, you live here at the beach. So what can be any better than that? It's easy access to the bayside or ocean side to actually go swimming, fishing, you can go paddle boarding, and you can just relax and soak up the sun. What else would you actually want to do in the summertime? I mean, that's pretty easy, right? Number 2, there are many events that are going on in town in Ocean City, and plus your neighboring Delaware areas. There's hundreds of events that go on. There's almost too many to keep track of, but you got your big ones, like Spring Fest, Sun Fest, there's Cruising Week, there's Bike Week, White Marlin Open, which is one of they claim to be the biggest, largest fishing tournament on the East Coast. Michael Jordan has fished in the past couple years, which is pretty cool. You always see pictures of him kind of leaking out. There's tons of concerts that go on. Like recently we've had like Kid Rock, Vince Neil with Motley Crue, Brad Paisley. The names just keep going on and on. So, and number 3, you will have more affordable homes in the Maryland area than versus the neighboring, like Delaware, I would say Fenwick Island, Delaware. Main reason for that is there's a lot more condo options on the Maryland side, and just the price point is a bit lower, which right now it's right around $400,000. And you can find plenty under that amount, but Fenwick Island is a bit more. Number 4, we have A+ restaurants and nightlife in Ocean City, and they're easy to get to. So Ocean City has over 200 plus restaurants, bars that you can access. Some of your big ones are Secrets, Fishtails, there's Fager's Island, Mackey's, and some of your ones downtown, which have been around a long time, like MR Ducks, Marina Deck, Cork Bar. And I've been to different parts of the world, and I tell you, in different states, different locations, cities, but there are restaurants here that rival anywhere else that I've had. And of course, I'll make a video on some of my favorites on those that you don't want to miss. So number 5, I say it's business opportunity and lifestyle. So Ocean City is a resort town, and we have over 8 million people that visit the town within a year. So it brings in a lot of tourism, and around that there's a lot of business opportunities that you could take advantage of, and something that you might love to do, like a water sports business with jet ski rentals, kayaks, paddle boards, or whatever it may be. Of course, there's tons of restaurants, hotel, the hospitality industry that you could have. So there's many different options that you could think of that could probably provide some value that would be on vacation. And what I've noticed is those entrepreneurs and business owners, they work very hard within the season, let's say with 6 months. Then they can actually take off the remaining 6 months to maybe travel, hang with family and friends, and take some time for themselves. All right, so let's get into the cons. So con number 1, I would say, is flooding. We're pretty much at sea level here, and the drainage when it rains very hard, or if we have a bad storm that comes through, the main coastal highway and some of the streets, especially in the downtown area in Ocean City, they flood very easy. I've seen it get pretty high, up to the door height of most cars. So if you're living here, that's something that you have to think of. If your car is parked on the street or in your driveway, and that your location floods a little easier than others, you have to kind of prepare for that, maybe park it somewhere else. So con number 2 is it's seasonal. You know, so if you're living here year round and you're not used to it, it is drastically different in the wintertime, the off season versus the in season or peak season in the summer. Like I said, usually during the summer, I mean, you can have anywhere from 75 to hundreds of thousands of people in town, and your year-round residence is usually 7,000 to 8,000 in Ocean City. Sure, that doesn't count across the bridge over into like West Ocean City, Berlin, where I live. Of course, you can go up into Delaware. You have those too, but it is a little bit different. It does get quiet, which a lot of people actually appreciate that. But if you're not used to it, a lot of your local businesses, some will close down, mainly the ones on the boardwalk towards the downtown area that rely just on tourism. But there are a lot of restaurants that do stay open year round, just with limited hours and limited days. So that's a little bit of getting used to, and there's a little less options of things to do in the wintertime. So con number 3, I would say, is traffic and parking, especially in the summertime / peak season. So if you've been in Ocean City before, there's very limited parking. And if you live here year round, come that peak summer season, it gets kind of hard if you can't find parking at your place where you live, or if you're working here in town. Again, when you have a fluctuation of people, hundreds of thousands of people in town, it can make getting to work a little harder. Finding a parking spot very hard, and just can be very frustrating. So con number 4, I would say, is the weather. It does get cold and windy in the wintertime. So, I have a lot of people that ask me, what the temperatures are like. Usually, summertime, it could be up in the 80s and 90s. It's hot, it's humid, and in the wintertime, it can be total opposite. It can be windy, cold, and temps can get down into the 30s and below freezing, because that wind blows off of that ocean, which is very cold. But one of my favorite times of the year is actually on the shoulder months, like September, October. The tourism cuts in about half, but there's still a lot of things going on. The temperatures are perfect, still in your 70s, usually sunny. Con number 5, I have crime rate in Ocean City, Maryland shows high. So I have this as a con. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of neutral towards this, because when you're looking at stats, when you have a small population of say 7,000 to 8,000, and when you have a certain amount of incidents, of course it's going to make your crime rate look high. Now, really personally, is Ocean City safe? Yes. Does crime happen? Of course. If you have, again, 150,000 people plus or minus in town for over a weekend, there's a lot going on. And most of the crimes that I've seen or heard people talk about is usually alcohol related, when the bar's let out, or you may have teenagers and adults that on the boardwalk that are getting rowdy for whatever reason. But overall, I think it's a safe place. But the stats do show that it's high, and of course I bet you most of those incidents are during the peak season, summer season. But I still enjoy the beach, boardwalk, and hanging out with my family. And I have a little girl who's 5 years old, so I've never had an issue, and but I would list that as a con on there just because it's out there and something to consider. All right, there we go. What'd you think? Did I leave out anything? If you think I did, make sure that you leave a comment down below. I love to hear other people's opinions. And if the video has helped you out, make sure that you like and subscribe, and make sure that you don't miss any of the new content that I come out with every week, for the Maryland, Delaware beach area. My contact information is down below. Reach out anytime. And until the next video, I'll see you soon.